Making AI song playlist that tells a story. This time we're going to be making the MP3 music files into a video file using editing software, adding timestamps between the individual songs. So get ready and some coffee because the rockin' ain't stopping once we start building beats with the AI app. Last time we left off creating images so that we can convert our MP3 music files into a video file, adding some imagery to that video file. Now that we have those tools, we'll start to add them into our editing software. But first, let's give a quick recap of the process thus far, because whenever we go through a system like this, we want to know the distinct individual steps that we are taking and think about whether or not we can refine down, make the process better next time. So we started the process by thinking we want to be looking at a story being told in musical format for the Iliad, which is in the public domain. Therefore, you would think the AI softwares would have some familiarity with it having been used to build the brain of the AI software. So we went to ChatGPT, or you can use Perplexity, in order to ask about the major topic points for the Iliad chapter 1, breaking it out chapter by chapter. We then got this information and it gave us the major plot points. We then took the seeds that were given to us about chapter 1 of the Iliad, put them into our AI music software in the creation tab, and created a bunch of songs based on those seeds. We then ordered those into a playlist format, which is now located in our player here for the Iliad. This is book 1 that we have, and we can share this playlist, and that could be good enough in and of itself because it tells a story. It gives us the text over here, but we wanted to convert it into a video with imagery in the video. Therefore, we went to AI imagery software in order to build our image files. So I went to I used the image creator of Midjourney, but you can use any image creator. We left off last time making these images. So this is what I have thus far, or this is what I've downloaded from. And then we also downloaded this MP3 files from the playlist. So now we have all of these images, and I broke out the images by name and number according to our list over here. And we have our MP3 files, which are also broken out in order by number and the name of the song, as well as the seed. So now we've got all the tools. We can just pull this into an editing software. Now I'm going to use Camtasia, but you can use any editing software, similar kind of process. The general idea being that we just want to put the bottom layer of our editing software will be the MP3 files, and then we'll layer on top of that the actual image files. So we'll do this step by step. Now, hopefully I can just, because these are in order, I should just be able to grab all of them, hopefully, and just drag them into the file over here. So I'm just going to go, okay, what if I just go boom? Now, usually it goes in order. I'm just going to select all of them, and then just drag it in and see what happens. Que paso. And then there it is. So boom. And then we ask, okay, is it in order? Not quite. It did something funny. It put the 13, 14, and 15 up front. But I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know why you did that. But let's just put these over here if we could. And then I'll just pull all of these to the left and see, is it in order? So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's in order. Amui B to the N. Okay, so now what I want to do is put timestamps in between each of the files. That'll make it a little bit easier because next time what we're going to do is I want to get to my images and plug them into each of these files. Now you might say that should be easy to do because you could see the clear break between each of the files. But we have 4 images per file. It would be a little bit easier for us to drag and place them if we had a distinct time or timestamp between them. So I'm going to put that in play first, and that will not only make that process a little easier, but it'll also make it easier for us to export this file, because when I export the file, I would like to basically export the entire thing to have all of the songs on one video file, and then I can add the timestamps to that. And I would also like to export each of them individually, so I can select this range in Camtasia from the same file and export just that bit. So this one file will allow me to do the entire thing to export, and each bit, each individual song, to make one long video file, and to make 15 individual song video files that I can put into a playlist, say in YouTube, for example. The other thing I want to keep in mind is going to be the description when I get into the YouTube. So when I get into YouTube, what I'd like to do is be able to put this list of songs in the long video file. It's in order by number. It has the number, the name of the song, and the seed, so that people can use that to prompt the song. But I also want to put the timestamp in front of it, because the timestamp will allow YouTube to give an automatic link to each individual song, which will make one video file quite useful. So I can upload just one video file, and it'll have all the songs that you can click through, which might draw more traffic since it's on one file as opposed to 15 separate files, even though I personally like the 15 separate files, so I have the songs in a playlist format. But you can see why this would be a popular thing to do, because again, it's more likely that you can get more viewers on one video maybe than on 15 videos in a playlist format. Or you could try to do both, which I do, which might not be optimal for SEO purposes to get the maximum views, but I like it best. I think it's the nicest thing to do, so I do that. Okay, so let's go through here and add. So I'm just going to go through each individual bit, and I'm just going to add a marker on it. Now, some softwares might not have the same capacity, but you'll have similar uses to different editing softwares. So I'm just going to find that divide, and then I'm going to zoom into it so I can be more specific on the divide. And then I'm going to add this little drop down and add markers. So I want to add a marker, and I'm just going to paste the name of it. This one actually starts on the second one. I'm on 2 here, so let's start on 2, and I'll add that marker. Let's change the name of that marker. Should be the second one. So I'll put the marker over here. Should be numero dos. I can't change it. My neighbors are going crazy up there. Hopefully no one's not killing anyone or something. But if you hear any thuds or whatnot, as long as there's no screams of terror, then hopefully we're okay. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next one. So we're going to say, let's go to the 3, and then I'm going to go back on over here. I'm going to make this small, and then I'm going to go, now I'm going to go a little bit to the right, because then when I open it up again, I can always go to the left. So I try to keep the space on the right-hand side. Just a couple editing tips, as I've done this that might be useful. I'm going to make this smaller again, see, and then I've got my room, and I'm going to say, okay, let's just do the next one. Just going to add a little marker here, and so go bloop, and I like to go a little bit to the right of it, so that when I expand it, it'll always be a little bit to the left, and that means that I'm always on this side of the screen looking this way, because that's the way it's usually best to be situated. I know that's I'm getting in the weeds of things, but that's what we do here. We got to refine the process down, so we can just crank these out. We go just a little bit to the right, doot, and then doot, make it large, and then right back to there, boom, and then put the name. So I go back on over, and then go to doot, and we're going to add the timestamp. So I know this is tedious, but we're going to add the timestamps after this. So there is another step. So don't miss that by saying, I know what you're doing. I don't need to look anymore about this process because I see how it works. I know what I'm doing, Wyatt. Okay. So we go a little, see how this is, I'm all on the right side now? If I go a little bit to the right of it and then expand it, it'll bring me back a little bit to the left, right? Which is what I want to do. So I'm not like working over here on this side of the screen. So that's the point. So I'm going to go back on over and say numero ocho, yo. And by the way, I can also check. See, this is 7 right here. So if I get out of sync, I'm going to go a little bit to the right of it, maybe a little bit more to the right, and then open it up, and that'll pull me back to the left. And I can see the numero ocho here, 8 that is. And then, so I'm going to put it here too. So I think I'm in the right spot. Clicking off it, there's the 8. All right, I think everything is lined up appropriately. And so we're going to go back on over and make this small again. Move it on over, toot, toot, and then open it up, and then toot, 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 back, back, back. There it is. Number 9. Number 9. All right, and then we're almost there. Got a couple more to go. Couple more to go, yo. Bring it on over. Bring it on over. Making that larger. And then number 10. Number 10. Okay. Going to number 11. Number 11. Make it larger. And okay. There we have that. Almost there. And then we'll do the next step, the next bit. Maybe I'll fast forward this one, so it's not like too tedious. Because at this point, you probably kind of get the gist of this part of the process. Number 13. But sometimes number 13, is that still number 13? Yes. Okay. Isn't there a better way to do it? No, there's not a better way to do this, okay? This is how you have to do it. To be asking. I know, I've looked at it already. I know exactly how it's done. This is the only way to do it. And we're going to go, okay. So then we have here, boom, finalmente. It's the end. Okay. Okay. So then I want to put the timestamps on this one, on here. So it's best if you have 2 screens, but if I don't have 2 screens, in Camtasia, you can actually disconnect this bit. Like, what if I right click on it and I say, I want to remove the track. Boom. Oh, hold on. That's wrong. I didn't do the right thing. I right click and I say detach timeline. That's what I wanted it to do. So now I can like get this is like a totally different thing. So if I only have like one screen, or if I'm watching the TV on the other screen, watching some YouTube or something, then I can say I'm just going to put this on this screen so that I don't have to stop what I'm watching on the TV on my other screen because it's interesting. And then I'm just going to make this large. And then now I've got the 2 screens. So now I can be like, let me just find that timestamp. I'm going to make it large so it's specific. And that's at the 4:00 about. So I'm going to say number 1 is at 0:00. Number 2 starts at 4:00. So that's my timestamps that I'm going to put in the description of the YouTube video. And then this one, let's make it more specific, zooming back in, is at 8:00. They're about 4 minutes apart because that's the maximum song length, I think, for the music videos. And because I said English and Spanish, they're almost all the maximum length. They get cut off at the end. I think that's why that happens, because I made them repeat Spanish and English, or English and then Spanish. So if you don't do that, you might have quite some shorter songs that are a bit more reasonable. But I really like that it does that. You know, so I'm going to go a little bit to the left again so that I can scroll back to the right. So I always have that room on the upper end. And this is going to be 12:32. Boom. And then let's go back on over here and do it otra vez. Otra vez. And this is going to be 1932. 1932. And then smaller over here. Otra vez. make it larger. Specific timestamp is going to be 23, 23. 23, 23. Didn't you hear me the first time? I said 23. 23. All right, and then this one's going to be 26, 32. What's my name? What's my age again? 20. There's some song where he repeats, I think he's 23 in the song, and he just keeps saying it. I think it's like Blink 182 or something. It's like, okay, you're obsessed with your age, man. No one cares. No one really cares. Are you trying to like buy beer or something and the guy doesn't believe you? Like, just relax. I'm gonna just make this smaller because you have to be a certain age to buy beer. That's why I said that in case. And so maybe he was arguing with the guy at the store. It's like, dude, what's my age again? What's my age again? It's like, just give me your ID for crying out loud and shut up. Getting sick and tired of your lip. Alright. Anyways. I don't know why I got upset all of a sudden. This is going to be 3852. 3852. And then I'm going to go over here. And then go dang kid. Then he bought his beer using change. Bunch of nickels. He put a bunch of nickels on the table. I had to sit here counting nickels. It's not even worth my time. And we're gonna 4501 4501, and then we're gonna go over here. We're on 14 48 41 48 41. One more round. One more time. I got like a hair in my eye or something. There's a hair in my eye, but I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm just going to blink. I can do this with one eye. With my hand behind my back and my feet tied behind my butt. I could still do this, even though I don't have any hands or feet. But I'm still able to do it. That's how well I know the process. Okay. So next time we're going to go in and we're going to add the images, and then we'll edit the images. Add in a little bit of a zoom to them, and we can also add, and then we'll edit a little bit on the formatting of the music track as well. So that's what we'll do.